Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Winning. I'm a solutions engineer here at Nintex, and today I'm going to walk you through the newly released connectors for Nintex AssureSign for Nintex Workflow Cloud. So, as you might be aware, Nintex purchased AssureSign earlier this year, and we've just now gotten access to the connectors here for Nintex Workflow Cloud, which will allow us to collect information on a digital form, pass that information over to AssureSign to get the signature, and then we can even get back a signed document from AssureSign once we've done that signing process. So let's talk a little bit about what we need to do to get that to work. So first off, we need to create our template in AssureSign. And I'm using this template here, which is for the PPP loan program. You'll notice it's just a Word document that I uploaded into AssureSign, and then we're going to fill in these areas that are blank here. We're going to collect that information on the digital form, pass it over to AssureSign, and then allow for the signature here. So we have some areas here for initials, and then we also have our signature and date fields down here. So the first thing I did was upload that Word document into AssureSign. And then in order to tell AssureSign where we want to allow this information to be inserted into the document, we add what are called jot blocks into this into the template. So in this case, I'm using a fixed jot block, but we also have the regular jot blocks as well. The only difference is between the fixed and the regular is that if you're using the regular jot block and you send something over from Nintex Workflow Cloud, it'll populate the form for you, populate the template. When the signer gets the document to go through and sign, they will have the ability to change the information that was passed over from Nintex Workflow Cloud. So maybe if you have one or two fields that you would like to allow the sender to possibly change, you could use the regular jot blocks in here instead of the fixed. But it's really simple. You just grab your jot block, drag it over here onto the form where you want to put it, release it. You get a little pop-up window here. And then what you need to do is in this Edit Fixed Text field here, I'm going to click on the blue circle. What that's going to allow me to do is either add a sender input field that I've already created, or if this is a new jot block that we're adding to the actual document, I can come here and actually create a brand new sender input. And that sender input would allow me to fill in the name for the jot block and save that information, and then it'll add it to the field here. So let's say I wanted to add business type here. You'll notice we add the business type, and if I save the jot block, we now see that it says business type inside there, and that's where that information would be passed in. So you do need a sender input for any information that you want to send over from Nintex Workflow Cloud, and I'll show you how to map those here in just a moment inside of Nintex Workflow Cloud. So let's go ahead and delete that one off of there. And then we'll just kind of scroll down through real quick. You'll notice I have placed all of my fixed jot blocks in here with the sender inputs inside them. And then for these areas where we're collecting the initials, I'm using the initials one here under the jot blocks for signer one here, the S1, and just populating those in as we go down. And then grabbing the signature field, dropping that on the document right here as well. And then I just added a date timestamp, so I just used this timestamp here, jot block right there on the form, and that will populate once the document is actually signed, and we'll have a date time and when that's actually signed. And that's all the fields that we have on this particular form. So then what we do is we'll jump back over to Nintex Workflow Cloud. We have our start event, our form, which I'll show you here in a minute. We'll actually fill it out. We'll walk through the signing process and show you how that works. But we have our get signature action. So if we look over here on the left-hand side, we have Nintex AssureSign, and we have the two actions in there for get signature and get a signed document. In this case, we're going to use the get a signature action. So let me click on that. We'll open up the configuration here. And what you'll need to do is configure your connection to your AssureSign tenant. And what account you're using. AssureSign does allow you to have multiple accounts under one tenant, so you could have a top level account, say, like for like Google, for example, their top line would be like Alphabet, and underneath that might be Android and might be some of the other things that they do. So you could break that down for sub locations or sub companies that you have under one particular account. So in this case, we just have the one, we have Nintex. And then I'm going to select my template from the templates that are available there. So you can see this is my SBA Paycheck Protection template here. So I'm going to select the correct template that I want to use from the drop-down. It gives me a list of all the templates that are in there. Just select the one that you want to use. I'm going to pass over from the start form. I'm going to pass over my signing information. So I'm going to use the form variables here, pass over the email address, it's right here, the business phone, and then the owner name, which is down here. We're going to pass that information in. So that's going to be the person that's going to be doing the signing for this particular document that we send out. We can, so this is mobile phone. So AssureSign does allow you to do mobile e-sign as well. So you'll get a text. It will ask you for permission for AssureSign to send that information out to you. Once you type yes, reply yes back into that, you will get the ability to do mobile e-sign through AssureSign. So it makes it very nice if you're out traveling or something like that. Maybe you don't have access to your laptop or a tablet or anything right at the moment, but you got your cell phone handy. You can get that through a text message and do the whole signing process through your cell phone. So, and then down here at the bottom, you'll see all of the sender inputs that we created on that form for all of the job blocks that we wanted to fill in over there. So then I'm just mapping those from the start event form here. And pulling those in. So you can see legal organization type, the DBA or trade name, franchise name, all of those things I'm just kind of passing in and mapping it to the correct sender inputs for the AssureSign template. So you can see we have a number of them there that we're passing across. And then down at the bottom, we're going to save the results as an envelope ID. And then we're actually going to use some information that comes back with that envelope ID object, and we're going to check and make sure that the person that received the document for signing didn't decline it. So if we are getting a declining signatory here coming back, if it's not empty, we want to go down this yes path, which means it was declined. We're just going to send an email back out saying that that particular item was not signed, it was declined by the signer. And then if it's empty, we're going to go down the path of, hey, yes, they did sign it. I want to grab that signed document. Let's pull that back into our workflow here in Nintex Workflow Cloud. And so let me click on that action, and we'll see. Again, I just have to grab my connection here, my template. And then we're going to grab that envelope ID that is part of the action from AssureSign here. So we're just going to go into that object, go into the envelope, and we're going to grab the envelope ID here, and we're going to use that to pull back the document that we want. And then I'm going to save that document into a file variable called signed document. And then in this case, I'm just sending that out via email. You could, if you would like to, you could maybe, let's say we wanted to save that down into SharePoint or something like that. I could go here, and I could actually go in and do like a store a file here if I wanted to store that into a SharePoint library or something like that and use that as my system of record. All right. So now that we've got all of our pieces set up, let's go ahead and we'll fill out the form. We'll run through the signing process, show you what that looks like. Let me open up the form. So let me go through. We'll just fill out the form here, and I'll show you what it looks like as we're going. I'm just going to fill in all the pieces here. Okay, I am going to put in, well, we're not going to use the mobile phone in this one, but if I put my mobile phone in this business phone number, it would actually send that to my mobile phone as well. Since I'm not going to be doing the mobile signing process for this particular demo, I'm not going to enter that information in there. Let's go ahead and put in a date established for our company, average payroll. Let's just fill in some info here. It doesn't really matter for the demo. We're just going to go ahead and fill that in. I'm going to say I own 50%. We'll put in an address. We'll say Dan, who's our CIO, owns the other 50. And, excuse me. All right. So we got that filled in. We don't have any additional owners. And then we'll just go through and do some checks on these checkboxes here, or the radio buttons for the yes, no. Go down here at the bottom. I'm going to click submit. Let that start running here. And I should get my emails here in just a moment to allow me to actually go through and fill out the signing process here. So we'll give that just a second to run. Okay, so got the emails. So the first one really just tells us the signers for the signing process for the envelope that I've created have now been notified that the envelope is available for them to sign. And what that email looks like is this. Whoops, if I actually open it. So now we have the envelope here to actually do the signature. And what we're going to do, you'll notice now that we have a begin signing link here. So we can click that link. These emails are customizable. You can add your own company logo and all that information on there that you'd like to add. And then what we're going to do is we're taken now into the AssureSign portal, where we can begin the signing process. So you've been asked to sign the PPP borrower application. Just read the information for the terms and conditions here. Again, these are customizable for for your organization, what you'd like to have in there. You can decline the signing right here or do a preview of the document if you'd like. You can also decline from inside the signing process, which we'll see here in just a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click the checkbox here that says I've read and agree to those terms. We'll start the signing process. And then I have the ability here, if I wanted to create my signature with my mouse, I could do that, or a stylus if I'm doing this on a mobile device or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and use the keyboard here. I'm just going to select, put my initials here. And it does allow you to select a font here as well. So you could select what font you'd like to have your signature in. Let's use that one. And then I'm just going to click Adopt Signature. And then what you'll see over here on the right-hand side, this is the actual document that was, or the information that was passed over into the template. You can see that's all been filled in. And all the stuff that we passed over from that initial digital form was passed over. And then over here now we're getting down into the areas where I'm going to start applying my initials. You can see I have the bright orange button here to say apply initials. So let's go ahead and start going down through those. We'll just apply all the initials we need. Let that go through. And then we applied our signature there as well. And the date field will actually be filled in once I click finish here. You notice I also could decline signing here as well if I'd like to. If I got in here and changed my mind, said no, I could do that. I'm just going to go ahead and click finish. We'll finish off the signing process here. And it's going to prepare the document now. And then everybody that's a part of this particular workflow or part of this process as it was created will get notified. I do have the ability to download the signed document there if I wanted to. I'm also going to receive that in email. I do get notified here that the envelope has been completed. And if I want to go back in and view the envelope and see what's been signed and everything like that, I can click here, view the envelope. It's actually going to go to AssureSign, open up the envelope for us, and I can see that that template's been signed or the document's been signed. I have the ability to download it from there as well, but I also will be getting an email here in just a moment that will have the document attached to it, because we did, inside the workflow, as you'll remember, we did run down this path here to get a signed document. So I'm going to be pulling that document back and sending it out. And I believe I just got that email. Wait for my email to refresh here. And you'll notice I've got my email here. We can fill in a custom message of, hey, congratulations, your payroll protection app has been signed. And if we open that up, we'll see we have a fully filled in document here. Let me zoom back out just a little bit. You'll notice it passed in all the information that we had there and filled all that stuff in on the form. All the yes, no answers came across. And then as we get further down in, you'll notice here all of our initials. And I was zoomed in. You'll notice that it was electronically signed, date, time, and looks like IP address there. So you can see what it was signed. Same here for the signature. And then we've got our date stamp that's also been filled in on the particular document as well. So that's our Nintex AssureSign connectors for Nintex Workflow Cloud. Again, these were just released, I believe, Friday, December 3rd. So they are fairly new. So if you haven't had a chance to use them yet, if you're interested in Nintex AssureSign, please reach out to your Nintex rep, get a demo, have one of our solutions engineers walk you through it again, and then you can get signed up and start using it yourself. Thank you very much. Any questions, feel free to reach out to your sales rep. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have around AssureSign or anything else in the Nintex platform. Thank you very much.